When we're waiting for others to join, then we'll start. Yes, people are still joining, so I'm waiting for some time for all of them to join, then we can start. Meanwhile, if anyone of you have any questions, you tried anything, you did not understand anything, feel free to ask. And before that, can you guys hear me well and see my screen? Can someone confirm?
Yes, it is visible and we could hear you.
Great. So while others are joining, feel free to ask any questions where you have practiced or where you have attended the session and did not understand anything, or you watched the video and you did not understand anything. Please feel free to ask the question. I'm still waiting for others to join. We'll wait 3 minutes more and we'll start then. Yes, guys, no one has any question? Anything where you're stuck while doing the practical, any theoretical part which you did not understand, or any question related to the course? Topics which we have covered till now. Two more minutes, I'm waiting for others to join. If they don't join, we'll start today's session. Waiting for a minute more, guys. Meanwhile, please, if you have any questions, do ask. Okay, guys, we waited good enough for 10 minutes. Now let's start with today's topic. I was planning to complete our hub and spoke, which we left in last session. However, I see many people are not here. Sanmitra is not there, Yogesh is not there, and hub and spoke is very important and critical topic. And most of the time, they do ask this in interview. So we'll cover this when we have sufficient quorum. Today we will cover Azure machine, this virtual machine scale set, VMSS. Though we have discussed about it in theory part, we did not complete the practical. So today we'll discuss the theory, the revision, and the practical. We'll complete VMSS. VMSS is also an important topic, but not as important as hub and spoke. Sometimes they will just ask you about VMSS, you give full form, you give 2 or 3 theoretical answer, and that's it. But when it comes to hub and spoke, they will ask you detailed questions. Hence, we are going to complete VMSS today, and when we have sufficient quorum, we'll complete hub and spoke. So we have covered this topic many times. Still, I just want to see how much you guys are reading. What is your understanding? So before we go to virtual machine scale set, could one of you quickly give me an answer of what is an availability set and availability zone? Let's say this is the interview question. Okay. What is Azure availability zone and what is Azure availability set? Yes, anyone?
Availability zone is Azure availability zone is where physical location within region and one or more centers are presented and equipped with independent power, cooling, and networking and power supply, which is called availability zone. I hope I'm clear.
And availability set?
Availability set is resource specific and it has multiple rack, and each rack will have individual power supply, networking, and slot.
Okay. Not a specific rack, you can say set of racks. I mean,
Yeah,
giving
set of rack.
in individual power to each rack, it's quite impossible, not practical approach. So set of racks. Okay. So what kind of high availability do I get if I am using availability set? Let's say that I am using availability set. It is one of the HA feature, high availability feature. I'm using availability set and my data center is down. Is my application available or no?
No.
Okay. So which solution should I use if I want highly available, even if my data center is down, I want my application to be running?
Availability zone.
Zone.
It's fine.
Okay. Uh, Availability zone. Let's say now I'm saying my region is also down. Will availability set help me? Will availability zone help me in this case? The whole
No,
region is
both
down.
both.
No,
Which solution should I be using for that?
Azure pair region.
Anyone else who thinks differently?
We can use region pair.
Okay. The region pair, and you said this is the one you're referring to, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Hussein, you there? Okay, maybe he can't hear or we can't hear him. So uh, again, before we move to just want to clear the doubts and then we'll move to the next topic. Okay. This Azure pair region, guys, this one, this applies to is it uh for a specific resource or it applies to any resource or any service of Azure? किसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में पढ़ा था हम लोगों ने? Azure region pair. This is with in under which topic we discussed this?
Site recovery.
Okay. So now the paired region, just because I'm saying okay doesn't mean the answer is correct. Okay. Just acknowledging your answer. So if you, Srishti and Amit, you guys are saying, if I want the high availability for my application, when I say application, it could be my server. Okay, it could be my serverless architecture, but anything. For this example, let's stick to server. So you're saying that I should have my server with paired region, right? Is that you're trying to say? So according to this one, and I always tell you, never refer to the diagrams which I have in my documents. For paired region and everything, always go to Microsoft Azure's website. They will always have updated data. Maybe the two more regions are added here. This is an old picture, but it's good enough for our example, for our understanding. But if you want the latest data, we always refer to Azure side. Never, rely on a document which is saved offline. Okay, so here, if I have a machine in Canada Central, so can I have the high availability region as China East? Is it possible? I'm asking in terms of your answer and looking at this diagram. So if you're answering that as
No,
your
Canada East.
okay. Amit, anything you remember other than this? Okay, let's not waste time, guys, because today I want to complete. We have been discussing a virtual machine scale set, and then same thing happens. We go to back older topics, previous topics, and then we get stuck there. So it's slightly wrong, guys. Not this Azure region. This was with regard to storage and storage only. This has nothing to do with your application. The next solution which I was expecting you to answer, or which you should know, if availability set, this doesn't work, the fault domain and update domain. I hope I don't have to repeat the fault domain and update domain, right? So if fault domain and update domain, which is a part of availability set, if that doesn't work, if user says or client says, no, my application is more crucial, I want something else, because fault domain and update domain or availability set, it gives me high availability only to that fault domain level. Okay, if my that domain is down, if the fault domain, when I say fault domain, it is a group of racks. If that domain is down, that is the only high availability I get. But if my whole data center is down, if my whole data center is down, then this feature, if my whole data center is down, then this feature is not useful for me. This feature is only useful when one domain is down, then I can get my service from here. If this is down, I can get my service from here. But I'm talking about the whole data center is down. Then this is not useful for me. Sorry. So I'm saying I want something extra than this, or maybe a better version of this. Okay, then you guys suggested me availability zone. In availability zone, what happens, even if your data center is down, even if your whole data center is down, you're still getting services from a different data center which is a part of the same region. If this data center is down, you're still getting your services from a data center which is a part of the same region. Normally, if a region has availability zone, that region will have 3 data centers. So this is the next level high availability. Now I'm saying no, my application is way crucial than this. It is a healthcare app, and normally I want a backup of my application or high availability of my application, specifically on those scenarios where the whole region is not working. This is a health application. Let's say there is a flood or there is a war-like situation in this region. This is suppose Pune region. Okay, so by default, if it is flood or something, this whole region is down, and that is the crucial time when I want my application to be up. So if you're giving me only this high availability, which is reliable on these 3 data centers, by default, it has to go. So this doesn't help me. I'm asking more. I'm okay with money and everything. Budget is no bar. I'm asking more. So the next available thing which we had, guys, which we discussed, is disaster recovery and not the region pair. Don't get confused between this. This is specific to storage. I'll come back to this if you want. I can revise this, but we'll come back to this later. Now let's go step by step. We discussed this. We discussed this. This is the next level. If this also doesn't work or it is not feasible, then the next available option we have is disaster recovery. Let me show it to you quickly. Always understand this thing, and you will it will be easier for you to remember. Wherever you see the paired region where you do not have an option to select your sync region, that is linked with storage. When it comes to application or servers, there you do have an option to select any region. I'll show it to you now. So we have availability set, availability zone. If both of them are not working fine for me, or those are not suitable, then we have disaster recovery. In disaster recovery, what happens? The same thing. Virtual machine is, see guys, when you practice, this is what you get to learn. If the virtual machine is power off or deallocated, then we cannot set up disaster recovery. It can come as an interview question that can I set up a disaster recovery if virtual machine is off? You cannot. By the way, can you set up a backup when virtual machine is off?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes. And could you explain why backup and why not disaster recovery? I can't set up a disaster recovery
Because,
when. Yeah, tell me.
because backup is replacement of backup is like a replacement of anything at any time at no show data. So we can recover backup, like we can set backup, but we cannot set disaster recovery.
No, it still doesn't answer my question. I am asking.
So,
Yes, Amit.
yeah, and so in disaster recovery, there is a continuous replication happening of a machine to a different region. So if we stop it, it won't replicate.
And backup?
Backup, if it's a machine is off also, still backup is going on of the data on the machine. But the state will be different of backup.
No, but if synchronization happens continuously, or how is it?
For backup, no, that we have a backup policy. As per that, backup happens.
Right. So you select a time, a particular time. In synchronization, disaster recovery, it syncs continuously. So if your machine is off, there's no point syncing it. That is the reason you cannot set up. But when it comes to backup, backup is something you select a time, 11 p.m. every day, 11 p.m. every Sunday, something like this, or maybe twice a day, anything that you can decide in backup policy. Okay, so let's come to disaster. So now see the difference, guys. So you don't get confused next time. Wherever you say paired region, where you cannot change the paired region, that is linked with storage. When it comes to my virtual machine, the available option is disaster recovery. And disaster recovery doesn't have any restrictions. I mean, some could be there, like if your existing region has availability zones, your target region should also have that. That is a different thing. We are not discussing disaster recovery now. We have already done that. So we have done that in detail. But you do not have any paired region. My current region, the source region, is East US. Here is my source region. This is my data center. This is my applications are hosted. And I'm saying, okay, if I take availability set, it will only be at the data center level. If I take availability zone, it will only be at the region level, that East US. Till the time East US region is working, my app is working. But if something happens to East US region, what will happen then? Maybe the East US region there, it is in Manhattan or somewhere. So if there's a flood or something, okay, so the region will go down, my app will go down, and my application is a healthcare application. That is the reason I need the backup. I mean, if there is a flood like situation, वही time होगा जब सबसे ज़्यादा mostly मेरे application की ज़रूरत होगी. Patients are coming, I want to see their data, I want to see who has medical history, etc., who has insurance and everything. And if that time my application is down, my business is gone, and I'm not able to help those people. Right? I won't know their blood group. And at a situation like this, doing everything from scratch is waste of time. So what's the use of having technology if that is not useful for me? Hence, I'm asking you guys to give me a solution which will work in this situation also. Then you say, okay, you can go for disaster recovery. Disaster recovery doesn't have any limitation that you're coming from West US, so it should be only East US. No, that is not the case. If you're coming from East US, it should only be West US. That is not the case. If you are from East US, you can have any data center or any region you want. You can go till West India. Though it never happens practically, no one will do that. Doesn't work like this, but technically it is possible. Forget that, you can go to Australia also. So you'll see it doesn't stop you. See? So it will continuously sync your data from here to here. Though I'm repeating myself, doesn't make any sense, and a real environment में कभी नहीं होता है इतना दूर. Nearest region रखते हैं काफी बार. So if it is East US, maybe I'll put East US 2. See, this is something like this. And if I think in East US 2, it's too close. If something is happening in East US, it's like Pune, Mumbai. We have a Azure region in Pune. We have Azure region in Mumbai also. And the third region is in Chennai. So if I'm hosting my application in Pune, and if I think, let's take disaster recovery as Mumbai. But then I will say, no, it's too close. If something is happening in Pune, it might affect Mumbai also. So safer side, let's go to Chennai or Hyderabad, the new data center which they are new region which they are coming up with in India. So at least I'll think about that distance. But again, that is not your hectic. The architecture team will do that and you will get it. You just need to understand the logic and how to configure it, implement it. Right? So something like this you will see. Okay, Central US, it's fine. And then you can configure it completely. Clear till here? I'm not going ahead because we have completed disaster recovery. All these options we have completed in disaster recovery session. So I hope that is clear. Now let's come back to our original topic, the one which we were discussing, Azure virtual machine scale set, VMSS. So who could explain what is virtual machine scale set? What is a scale up, scale horizontal and vertical, scale out, scale in? We have discussed all this. Just a revision. Yes, guys. Anyone quickly? Amit, Srishti, Nida, Hussein, anyone? Guys, can you hear me? Yes, no, maybe. Anyone knows the answer? I'm sharing my screen. It is right in front of you. Asif, would you like to try? Guys, can you hear me all?
Yes, we can.
What's wrong? Why are you guys not answering? See, if you won't, unless you see, why am I keeping this in front of you? I know you can read an answer. Okay, I get it answer, and I know you guys know the concept. But unless you get into that habit, you won't be able to speak in your interview. Trust me on this. It won't happen like this. You will keep your mouth shut in trainings, and suddenly you'll start speaking in interview because or no, that is not going to happen. This is the place to practice. Correct, incorrect, wrong, right, doesn't matter. This is the place to practice answering, practice using jargons. We will correct each other, and that is how you will get a finer version in your interview. If you do not speak here and you start speaking exactly at your interview, you won't be able to crack it. Even if you know the answer, you won't be able to put it. You won't be able to explain yourself. Yes, so who would like to try? What is and the questions will literally
Shall I
come like
try?
this. Yes, please. What is Azure VMSS, or what is availability zone, or what is availability set? And in this case, the question is, what is VMSS, virtual machine scale set? Yes, Hussein.
So Yeah, so virtual machine scale set is a service wherein automatically we could increase the number of instances of a particular virtual machine. So whether it also we can increase the configuration of a machine or decrease the configuration of a machine automatically, wherein we have two scenarios: scale up. In scale up, we just increase the existing configuration of a virtual machine. For an example, RAM or a disk space, depends on the requirement. And scale out, I mean to say horizontal, adding the instances. For an example, we have a virtual machine for a particular configuration. We are adding the same virtual machine just to balance the load of an application.
Right, correct. See guys, I am sure Hussein has been reading. I know him. He has been doing studies. Now the answer is right in front of on the screen. But still, if you see, he had to stop, he had to pause. So unless you practice, this is what will happen, right? So practice answering here. No one is judging you. Trust me on that. And if you're not comfortable, change your names while joining the Zoom call. It's okay. I know you by your voice, so that's okay. Change your name, type any random name, and then answer if you're not comfortable with your own name. But practice answering. Unless you answer here, you won't be able to answer in your interview. I've been
So
telling
in
you. Yes, Amit.
yeah. So in virtual machine scale set, we mostly we use scale out option, right?
No, I mean, we as in depends
I mean
which
option
is the
है
application.
scale up का भी option है उसमें.
Definitely is there.
Okay.
That depends what kind of application is this. But yes, if you ask on the larger note and the interview questions वगैरह भी जो है scale out के बारे में आते हैं, policies भी we also discuss scale out, we practice scale out. So हाँ, there's a dominance. Scale up थोड़ा सा कभी कभार उसमें reboot required होता है. So scale up
Right.
ज़्यादा ये नहीं होता है, ज़्यादा use नहीं करते. So yes, scale out in that manner. Yes, you also focus on scale up, scale out. Scale up, explain it like Hussein did it, though explain kar do, and then to elaborate your answer, shift to scale out. Then talk about scale out. How do you configure the policy, on what basis, what is the minimum instances that we'll see. Sorry, that we'll see now. Okay, so let's proceed, and now we'll do the practical. Again, I'm not doing this in detail, guys, because we have already done VMSS topic. We have covered. Only practical part was pending. So let's start with that. And still, if you have any questions, ask. And what again, before talking about virtual machine scale set, why did I discuss availability zone and availability set? What is the logic behind it, or what is the connection behind it? I think we'll have to start. Let's spend these 10 minutes here, and the next session will immediately start the practical. Today we have to complete VMSS practical. What is the logic or connection between these two? Disaster recovery is a different, वो तो मैंने ऐसे ही बता दिया because you guys were. Yeah, it is for high availability, but how is it connected?
Are you like grouping the virtual machines in an availability set before?
Okay, now let's
Like,
see.
is it a requirement?
Now let's see that you have this one availability set. Okay, we have discussed this many times. Let me open quickly the paint. I keep repeating. If you see my sessions, one topic we have done for 5 times or maybe 7 times, even by the naming convention, if you see. Okay, but why I do this? Because these are the important topics, and the same thing I tell you guys, that keep practicing. Don't just complete it for the sake of completing it कि यार हमने ये topic खत्म कर लिया ना, why to repeat it? No, keep repeating it, and that is the only way you will learn. So this is availability set. I'll be very quick with this. This is your availability set. Let's say, what is the availability set? You will have 3 racks. Now in 3 racks, what can you do? You can have 3 machines for one application. This is I'm talking about for single application, guys. Okay, maybe a PeopleSoft or any application. But is there any connection between these machines automatically? Is there any connection? Is it useful for me now?
No. Means is it in
Can I call
one?
it high availability because this is running something else? This has the different IP address. This has different IP address. So this doesn't solve my problem. And what was the solution for this? What did we discussed in our previous session? What is the solution for this? Let's say that I have data synchronization somehow with some third party. I have managed. The data is same everywhere. Okay, I have managed that. That is fine. But still, these are 3 different machines. One user has this machine's IP address, another user has this machine's IP address, third user has this machine's IP address. So if this machine goes down, where is the high availability for this user? There is no high availability. So what was the solution we discussed for this?
Load balancer. We'll add
Load
load
balancer, right?
balancer.
Something like this, which will connect all of these, and you will have one IP, public IP here, using which. So in similar way, if you talk about Azure virtual machine scale set in isolation, that is not helping you. Okay, that will help you in high availability when those machines are placed in availability set. Okay, fine. I have, let's say that I have created one this one virtual machine scale set, and all 3 machines are deploying here, and suddenly this region goes down. What's the use of my virtual machine scale set? Okay, and if so, that is the reason we required this in combination. In isolation, even virtual machine scale set is not useful. In isolation, Azure virtual this one uh, scale set is not useful, and availability zone is also not useful. When you combine this load balancer and availability zone, load balancer and availability set, virtual machine scale set and availability set, that is the reason where you that is the thing where you're getting full solution for your application. That is the time you're getting a full solution for your business application. Otherwise, in isolation, you keep on creating machines that is not helping you at all. You say, okay, I have application XYZ, Paytm. I have Paytm 6 servers here, 6 servers here, 6 servers here, and 6 servers here. Data is synchronizing and everything is fine. It is happening. Same data is here, same data is here. But what is the use of it unless you combine them for public? If public is accessing separately all server, or if your users, they are accessing it separately, then it is not useful, because for this user, there is no high availability. This is just distributing your traffic, nothing else than that. But if we combine it with load balancer, which we did in the previous session, if we combine it with load balancer, then what happens? Load balancer takes care of this, that the request will come here, and then where to go, where will it go? That load balancer decides. If some region is down, load balancer will make sure the request doesn't go there. Okay, so this is the combination we required of load balancer with virtual machine scale set, load balancer with uh, availability zone. Similarly, virtual machine scale set with availability zone and availability set. So let's see. Here in virtual machine scale set, what is the difference we have? An added thing that the servers are increasing automatically. So it's an advanced version. In load balancer, what was that? We already created servers. Maybe I created 15 servers, put a load balancer, divided 5 servers each zone, and that's it. It is running. Now let's say the load balancer is dividing the traffic properly. Everything is fine, but the traffic is too much. It's not my 15 servers are not sufficient enough to handle that traffic. Then is load balancer helping me? Are you getting the point, guys? When you start combining the solutions, then it becomes a robust solution for you. Only load balancer, how is it helping me? See, the load balancer helps me that if this server goes down, it will it will route the traffic here on these two servers. If this goes down, it will route the traffic to this server, the third server. Till here it is fine, but I'm saying my server is not going down. Servers are working fine, application is working, but the traffic has increased. Okay, users, they have increased, and earlier these three servers have capacity to handle maybe only 1,000 users, and now I got 10,000 users. Are you getting the point, guys? See, this is how the situation is now. So my load balancer now, is it helping me? What maximum it can do? It can divide the traffic. One should go here, two should go here, three should go here, again here, here, and like this. Similarly, it will divide the traffic. But the capacity of this server has been exceeded already. Though the new requests are coming, but the capacity has been exceeded already. So is load balancer helping me to have another server? Yes, guys, do we have such feature in load balancer?
No.
Okay. So now if we combine our load balancer with our VMSS, then it will be more robust solution. Let's say that at the back end, instead of individual machines, if I put a virtual machine scale set, then what will happen? Ki traffic divide jo ho raha hai, this will happen for sure. With this, what will happen with the based on my criteria, whatever I have created, let's say that if 90% CPU is crossed, 2 more servers should get deployed. Now 2 more servers will come, and load balancer will start dividing the traffic in these 5 servers. Now instead of 3 servers, it will go to these 5 servers. Are you getting it, guys? So how the combination helps us? If it is a mission critical application, the combination of services and combination of technologies will have to utilize. Is it clear? Anyone who did not understand has any questions, please let me know. Yes, guys, anyone who did not understand or has any question? Okay, a minute is left here. We'll take a break of 5-7 minutes. We'll be back. We'll start the session at 14:50 sharp using the same link.
Okay.
I'll stop the session, guys. हेलो हाँ बोलिए ना सर कहाँ है इनका ऑफिस खराड़े में एग्जैक्टली पंचशेल का हाँ